Hey everybody, it's us. Oh,
Hey guys.
Ben and Pat, Pat and Ben, Susie and Elaine, Elaine and Susie.
That was a good episode.
Welcome to Sub Sunday,
Hooray.
Easter Sunday, and also my dad's birthday. He would have turned 89 today, also known as 89, but he passed away 12 years ago. Oh yeah, I forgot to. No, don't do that here.
Okay.
Yeah. Here, get away from this and get back to the broadcast. Yeah, I forgot to do that.
Yeah, that's all good.
The profile thing isn't. This is grayed out.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, then do that.
Okay. Yeah.
But then the one on YouTube's gonna be wrong.
Okay. That's probably grayed out because we're streaming. The save button is hidden behind the. There it is. There we go.
Here, you can fix the YouTube because you know how.
Yeah. Let me see.
Oh. Yeah, like change the title of the YouTube somehow.
I probably can't do it from here.
I've done it from here. I just don't remember what I did.
Okay. Oh, I don't see any other.
You're just looking around like I would.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
I've done it more than once.
Okay.
All right, let me look it up. And I'll read it to you.
If we can do it in the Creator Studio.
How do I change YouTube video title on streaming? Open YouTube Studio.
Yeah, I did that, but Karen's logged in. You're not logged in. We're not on your account. We're on Karen's. I guess I can switch.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if that... Ah, there it goes. That's what happened. There we go. Perfect. Good thing Pat isn't 100 years old. He can fix the tech stuff. Thanks, Bonerichi.
People who are 100 have been fixing tech stuff for 80 years. I can't read what that says, but thank him for subscribing.
The guy who streams games. Subbed at tier 1. Thanks to the guy who streams games. Sindarov is king. What's up, Vittles? What's up, RJ Futig? That's the best pronunciation I got for you. Something broken in YouTube? No, the title. We forgot to...
Normally, we set the profile in OBS. Profile tab is grayed out.
I think it's grayed out because we're streaming.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think it's on Karen's because if it was on ours, it would have the things, have the docs.
Yeah.
Chat. Oh, wait a minute. Here's the chat doc. Stream information. Yeah, change that to Sunday.
Okay. Subs.
They weren't there, but they're always there. So that wasn't good. And then do that here. Type in Sunday. And then what else? What else do you want to write? Yeah, usually they're just there, sitting there.
Yeah. Viewer games, and then
The date should be the 5th.
oh, you're right. Today is the 5th. I don't know what today's date is. Okay, update all.
I don't know if that'll override what you did there because you didn't change the date there.
It did, yeah. Okay.
Well, it's a good thing you're not here because you're too old.
Yeah.
I can't challenge you for some reason.
We're not accepting challenges today, unfortunately. Yeah, that's yesterday.
Yeah, if you challenge me, you're banned. If you didn't challenge me, you're also banned. Brazilian Monk, thanks for 200 bits.
Thanks, Brazilian Monk.
I'm not going to do any analysis today because I'm too tired and sick and old, and so forth.
Yeah, so I'll look at the games and do my best to provide commentary. And
Ghost of M is banned. And he's a mod.
It's not your fault. We forgot to change the title.
Yay, Fen Beingold. He gives some number of bits I can't see.
500 bits.
Yay.
He's complimenting your Gambit and closed position lectures on YouTube.
All right, you can take it away.
All right, take it away. So the first game is from Sitbear, who submitted a Hitbear game. And Sitbear is concerned that people believe Sitbear and Hitbear are the same person, which I'm one of those people. I do think that. I don't really have a reason not to think that because I've never seen them play each other. So when Sitbear submits a game that's Hitbear versus Sitbear, then maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe. Probably not. Okay, so Sitbear. Oh, I can't see.
Eh? I'm the one who can't see.
Window's so small. Okay, so Hitbear is white. Time control is a 10-minute game.
Did you read what Sith Bear wrote about
he said
him being Hit Bear?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. It's fun. Bishop c4 is unusual. Bishop e3 hangs a pawn to knight takes pawn. So not a good move. And black didn't take it.
Let's just go to the next game. Why are these games submitted? What's the point? Random legal moves. Esserman really appreciated the shout out. Yeah? Okay.
You gave Mark Esserman a shout out?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think in one of my videos I showed his game he beat Von Whaley in US Open
Yeah,
before you were born.
Gotcha. Okay, so that hangs a pawn. Black didn't take it. And that hangs a pawn with tempo. And now black took it. Okay, queen d3.
Did my game get submitted? That's funny. It submitted itself.
He was asking if Bonerichi submitted it for him.
Yeah.
Knight c3 is a very poor move. Just hanging a piece. Okay, now white's just down a piece and losing. Okay, let's see what happens. Put it in H.
Yeah, this guy's worse than Sit Bear.
So white wants to open the H file and coordinate on the H file against the king. And black said, I have an idea. Let's open the H file. Yeah, not good. Bishop g6 can be played now. And it is good. Yeah, this is white just losing. White's just down a piece. And that's an unfortunate error. So, the way for black to win is to stop this, because the bishop's pinned to the king. So the
Doesn't
bishop...
the queen belong on A3 and C3? Oh, no.
No. So bishop's pinned to the king, bishop's defending the pawn, so any move defends the, like, all the winning moves defend the h-pawn. Knight f6, rook h8. Queen takes c3, ignores all of white's threats, and now black's getting checkmated.
White made black overconfident.
Yeah. Okay, so rook takes h7, king f6, and in a position where white could play mate in 1, he did not play mate in 1.
But they don't see the mate in 1. You didn't tell them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta show them mate in 1.
Yeah.
So the king wants to run to e7, so you should check and take away the e7 square. Easy. The mate in 1 is queen g5. Queen f4 lets the king run to e7. This is a 10-minute game, so this is just weird. It's not like you don't have time to figure this stuff out.
Did you show them the mate in 1?
I did, yeah.
Oh.
Queen g5 mate.
Because they don't see it on the
Yeah,
stream.
sure.
They can't figure it out.
Okay, queen f4, king e7. Now black's winning again. And now white's getting checkmated. Seems letting black coordinate here. That's the wrong way to capture. Should take with the bishop.
Tactics 101.
Yep. And then if here, then we have a familiar mating pattern. This, and then mate. Okay. Yeah, queen c2 gives up the e1 square for the king, so the king can run this way. Black's still winning, but black had forced mate and didn't play it. Okay, king d1 allows this mating pattern again. And looks like black found it this time. Or maybe not.
Always repeat.
Always play bishop f1.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And then checkmate.
Yeah. That's the worst guy I've ever seen, and I'm 56 years old. Both sides should quit chess.
So, white had mate in 1, and then got checkmated.
Sassy subscribed,
Thanks, Sassy
but
girl.
still had to ask a question.
What does it take for a game to be featured on YouTube?
Ugh.
This one could get featured on YouTube. It's very bad.
Ugh.
It either has to be really good.
You know, I'm
really
not
bad.
feeling well, and then this game is submitted. Makes me sicker to my stomach.
You believe sit bear isn't a hit bear? I don't believe that. An up and down game where both sides had chances. What's up, Sit Bear? Sit Bear, I do believe that you and Hit Bear are the same person. And I'll believe that until I see you guys play a game. What's up, Rurf May? Alright, let's go to the next one from Deja Vu 2. It's a 5-minute game that features a Blackmar Deemer Gambit, he says. So we have to flip the board.
Go Deja Vu 2.
Okay, Blackmar Deemer Gambit. This is very
Sit
harmless.
Bear, I mean, Hit Bear might be white.
Yeah. This opening is harmless for black. Just take the pawn, develop your pieces, and you're up a pawn. E5, I don't know. Looks okay. Knight F6 is the move that I know. And that can't be critical. Just letting black...
Yeah, Rurf Mate gifted a sub to Shit Bear. Good job.
Oh, snap.
That's definitely not an alt account of Roof Mate.
Okay.
Good old Pia Crumling. She's my favorite.
Pia Crumbling.
No, just Crumbing.
Oh.
The guy who I ban a lot asks a lot of crazy questions.
Gotcha.
Yeah, people who chat on my stream, spelling isn't their strong suit.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I can complain about F5. F5 doesn't develop a piece. F5 gives black an isolated e-pawn.
But it stops black from playing F6 later.
Okay. Okay. C3 doesn't make any sense. He wants to stop this and this, but it's just not a good move. Yeah, knight e2 would have been better. And then if we play the move that white's afraid of, we can defend it like this. Okay. Bishop e2. Now d3 is a nice square for the knight if we can get there. Bishop e6. Okay. d2 check.
That way, if he takes it, black can
Yep.
castle queenside, winning the bishop.
I actually had to look up the rules recently because I thought like if there's a white piece on c8, I was wondering if you could castle and capture it, but you can't, and that sucks.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to do that sometimes, but it never lets me.
Darn. I didn't see why not. Like it's not check. It's not like
We had a guy who was about 1600, and he was a tournament director that worked for us at the chess center.
yeah.
And he thought, like, if there's a rook here and there's nothing here, so the rook is on the open file, and a bishop's pinning the rook,
Yeah.
he's like, the rook can't move, so I can play king d7.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he's like 1600.
Right.
And we're like, no, you can't. The rook takes your king before you take their king.
Right.
And he's like, the rook can't move, it's pinned, so why can't I go here?
Yeah. But you. Lose
I mean,
you lose
what
your
he
king
said
first.
makes some sense,
Yeah.
but how do you play like, hundreds of USCF rated games and have a reasonable rating and not know the rules?
Yeah.
And the answer is nobody knows the rules. Everybody's a moron. That's why when I do sub Saturday, I score 95%. If everybody was a genius, I'd score like 10%.
Yeah, sure. So I don't understand the idea with sacking the pawn. Okay, knight e4. Bishop c5. Engine doesn't like that move. It wants to get the last piece involved, Morphe style.
Opa Morphe style.
Yeah, so black's just trading everything when black's down a pawn. Now black is slightly worse. And that move hangs everything. It hangs all of white's pawns. Take that pawn, and take that pawn.
King D2 exclam. These players are 1900. Oh.
Yeah, I assume white was worried about this discovered check, but the engine's not afraid of it. It says never play f3, and then if I go in for this, the rook is x-raying the pawn on a7, so after king f2, the bishop's under attack and the pawn on a7 will be collected next. So not really anything wrong with that. Okay, yeah, king d2 just hangs all over.
Sassy's banned for inventing words.
Equivalention. I've never heard of that one.
That's why they're banned.
And white decided to resign here.
Ugh.
It's weird that you play king d2, hanging this with check, and then resign.
What did the person say about this game?
He just said it's a 5-minute game featuring the Black Mardimer gambit.
Ugh.
It had nothing to do with the
why are these games submitted? Like white sacked a pawn in the opening, black didn't take it, then white blundered a pawn and resigned. Ugh.
What's up, Nasser Tomato?
Nasser's banned for needing help. And then the guy whose name you can't pronounce, he's January 2009 on chess.com.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He said he spells well, but he can't spell anything. He's the worst.
He couldn't even spell his handle.
No, he's one of the worst spellers. Although Sassy's a pretty bad speller. I assume Sassy's like 8 years old. So.
Deja Vu 2 says he has a better game for next week. Yeah, this game wasn't very good.
Why do you people submit these games where like one side hangs a queen and the next side hangs mate and 1 and then they win? The side that hung mate and 1, they still win. And they don't make their opponent. You submit a game where you want to like analyze a game, not where every move is the worst move ever.
IFE Chess Diaries says they just finished watching your lecture on Topalov from 10 years ago.
Bonerichi wants to see the rest of the game.
That's the rest of that's it. That's it.
Maybe you didn't copy and paste it right.
Did I not?
I don't know. Bonerichi's complaining.
No, it says rook takes f2 and then resign.
Both sides are banned.
That
Look,
was the whole
Sassy,
game,
you may not be 8 yet, but you'll be 8 someday.
You'll be 8 in about 3 years. Bonerichi. I like.
Yeah, you've never spelled Bonerichi's name right. You spell it wrong different ways every time.
I thought d2 was good, so white couldn't castle.
Ugh.
What? It's an endgame. There are no queens on the board. Who cares about castling? Just get your pieces out.
Both sides are banned. The chat is banned.
Like,
are these lead chess ratings, and you're actually 1,000?
I understand your reasoning, but you're already down a pawn, and then you sack another one so white can't castle. White doesn't care about castling.
I still think he thought he could castle queenside and pick the bishop up. Didn't see it was illegal. Didn't see bishop takes rook.
Yeah. If it was legal.
Mm-hmm.
let's go to the next game because we're losing our minds over here. So the next game is from Mark. He wrote
Mark, you wrote too much. Good thing I'm not reading it.
like preamble. Okay. I played this game against the titan of 1970s Michigan Junior Chess, Issa Yusuf, at the 1979 Michigan Young Junior Championship. I failed to note Issa's rating, which I think was somewhere in Class B. I was USCF 1237 at the time. What's funny about this game is the very end, which I remember despite the passage of many years. A drawn rook endgame simplified into king and pawn versus king, and Issa immediately announced stalemate because we were both getting confused after a long time scramble. In the final position, it is me on move, and it is obviously not stalemate. It is in fact mate in 5. After a moment of confusion, I didn't contest it, and the game officially ended in a phantom stalemate. Whose move is it is far from the strangest thing to happen in junior chess, actually. I have seen a king in check by 4 pieces, a player who was ruled to have resigned because he said he had to take a nap while the game was still going on, etc. Okay, so slow chess, and Mark is black.
Mark said, now read that again.
It's a Nightdwarf. This looks like the game Anyone versus MVL. Bishop e2 is not too common. People are playing Bishop e3. In the 60s, 70s, and 80s, everyone was playing Bishop g5. Every move is legal here, and every move is theory. h3, g3, rook g1, f3, bishop e2, bishop c4. That's not bishop c4. Yeah, a3. Yeah, everything. Okay, bishop e2, e6. Usually if white makes a strange move, like that's not bishop g5, putting pressure on the knight, you want to play e5 and kick this knight to a bad square. Knight doesn't really like being here or here, but okay. It's double-edged though, because you get a backward pawn, you give up the d5 square. E6 is okay. Yeah, this is all fine. Black's already equalized and is for choice. Yeah, what's going to happen later in an endgame if white can't get an initiative early, these 2 center pawns are going to outweigh the e-pawn. And that's good for the ending. bd7. And then d5. The thematic Sicilian break. Yeah, if black gets d5 in the Sicilian, he's very happy, because d-pawn's usually weak. If you move your e-pawn and your c-pawn, there's nothing to defend the d-pawn. So you want to get rid of that. Takes. Yeah, a very good outcome out of the opening. And Mark's good at chess. Queen c3 is a terrible move. You don't want your queen on this file when the rook's going to go to c8. Okay, I see he wants to take this, but okay, never do that. Yeah, rook c8, and if bishop g7, knight d6. And it looks like the queen can't stay on this diagonal for too long. Queen d4, knight f5.
Yay, thanks for rating, Elena.
And then queen e5, never
That's
play
what
f6.
happened.
Yes. Thanks, Elena. Yeah, queen c3 is just a bad move. Okay, but Mark never played f6 because he was afraid of that. Takes. Now black has the 2 bishops. 5 is good. Rook c8 is good. Bishop c5 is good. Bishop f2 is aggressive. Yeah, and now all of black's pieces are working great. And white has that, and that, and that, and that.
That's good analysis.
Yeah. Okay. So black won a pawn, and black still has better pieces for the endgame. White's king is going to get stuck here. Black's king can move up the board freely, and does. Taking with the pawn is for choice because then you acquire a passed pawn for the endgame. Taking with the rook is a mistake. Now the position's close to equal. So white's getting active with the rook, attacking pawns. Rook a4. Rook b6 is inaccurate. Rook's quite active here, and we want to stop the king from moving up, so g4 and king g3. b6, h5 is a good move.
What did an H?
King g3. h4 check is defended by the rook. Yeah, here it wants black to move the king up, because move your king up in the endgame. King f5, king g5. And then probably if we get our king to f4, then we can check the king away and play king g3, and that's lights out. Okay. So with the passed pawns gone, this should be a pretty easy draw for white, even though it's 4-3. All of the pawns are on the same side. It's just going to be difficult for black to create a passed pawn. Yeah, that's a good move. King h5, f4. White wants to trade the pawns off. And white can just kind of chill. Okay. And then g3 seems to draw the game immediately. Because double isolated pawns, you're not going to be able to force them through. There's no way to stop white from blockading the g file. Okay, position's still drawn, but okay, now it's definitely drawn. And trading rooks is like crazy. So yeah, trading rooks loses immediately. If this position were white to move, it would be stalemate, but it's black's move. So king f3, king h2, king f2 resigns. How is this stalemate?
White said stalemate, and Mark agreed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're kids. And kids are stupid. Just like adults.
Yeah, so in this position, the players...
Yeah, white said stalemate after playing king g1, and black fell for it.
Darn, if only you had played king f3, and then here...
Yeah, Mark, you played better than he saw that game.
That was a good game.
Yeah, Issa was a pretty young 2000 player, and then he quit chess when he went to high school and college.
Gotcha. I guess I'll just say in the final position here, white should just do nothing. Any rook move on the first rank is just a draw. next game. Sure, long preamble. Okay.
Oh, they're banned.
Chrysos. Okay. I submitted a very dull classical game last week, so this game here is a rapid game where en passant saved a very closed drawn position. I am working my way up towards 1500 rapid on chess.com, and this game developed to a very dull closed position. Then out of nowhere, en passant. Any feedback on my general moves, especially my stacking play, as I really tried to get more aggressive this game, is appreciated. Okay. So, says it's a rapid game, but I don't see the specific time control.
Banned.
Okay, and our hero is white. So Roy Lopez. This defense has a name. Is it Bird's Defense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen this played before. Doesn't give black anything. It's not bad, but it's kind of boring. So A5 looks to set a silly trap. C6, B5, A4, trapping the bishop. So white should just deal with that, and does. A3. More precise is C3, challenging the center pawn, trying to get your pieces out.
Ugh, let's just skip to the next.
Yeah, C3 is still a good move here. C3 attacks the D pawn, attacks the A pawn by discovery. Played bishop
What kind of move
C4.
is A4?
Yeah.
Ugh. I've been so mad. Cared so little.
Queen F3 is one move-itis. Queen's not really well positioned on F3. He should just castle and then try to take advantage of the fact that black is nowhere near castling and his king is stuck in the center. Yeah, this is just like, oh, I hope he doesn't see checkmate. Or maybe he wanted to stop D5.
I hope he doesn't either, so this game ends.
Which is also not a good move.
Ugh.
Okay, Queen F6. Maintain tension, I hope. No, of course not.
Ugh.
So you guys just like to trade stuff because you don't know what's happening and you don't know what's going on. Like, get your pieces out. Trading queens can only be good for black. How is that good for you? He's just going to activate his pieces. Don't do that.
Both players are banned.
I really think when I see trades like that, it's just in the absence of knowing what to do or how to play chess. Like, you know how all the pieces move, but you don't know how to improve your pieces or what's good for you and what's good for your opponent.
I'm rooting against both players.
Yeah, bishop d6 is a tactical error.
Ugh.
Okay.
The chance that white sees the right move are less than 0%.
Okay, so first tactical signal. These are called forkable squares. A pawn can fork them. We put our pawn on e5. Second tactical signal, king in the center. So e5 just wins a piece. e5, you take it, rook e1, d6, f4, and then black can comfortably resign.
Well, no, you can't resign because look who's playing white. Ugh. Yeah, none of you should ever resign because you and your opponents are all terrible. There should be no resigning in your chess world.
Yeah, f4 is slow and one move-itis again. Yeah, knight h5 addresses e5, but now the knight's going to get trapped. Side of the board. So e5 takes away the f6 square, and then we play g4, attacking the trapped knight.
Ugh.
Okay. Yeah, I don't understand f5. All right. Knight d2 is a good move. Knight
Must
f3
have been a
is a
mouse
good move.
slip.
Yeah. This is all good. Yeah, this is very defensive. Should play actively and play g5, and then g6, and then take advantage of the pin and open your rook up and all the good stuff. h5 makes g5 even stronger.
Oh.
Just rock the knight.
H5's so bad.
Yeah, g6. Just... Okay, bishop d2 is good. g6 was taking advantage of the pin. Okay. Should still play g6. There you go. Yeah, g takes f7 is good. Bishop b4 is good. Queening is not good. The threat,
You should make a bishop. 3 bishops, what else?
So what's that Yasser story about the threat is stronger than the execution?
That's a Yasser story?
Well, he told the story.
Oh, I don't know. Sounds made up.
Some player that liked to smoke a lot. He liked to smoke at the chessboard.
Oh.
And he had Cuban cigars, and then he asked him to put the cigars away. Or he told the arbiter, like, he should put his cigars away. And the arbiter said why he's not smoking them, and he said the threat is stronger than its execution. Something like that. Anyway, so the pawn's just strong on f7. Like, it's always looming in the air. It can become a queen later. It takes away the g8 square from the king. So your pawn's just good on f7. Like, it's strong. That trades it off. And this bishop is better than this rook. So even though these pieces, when you hold them in your hand, a rook is worth more than a bishop, but the position says otherwise. The position says you want to have that bishop because it's supporting the queening square. You don't want to trade it off for a rook that attacks nothing. It's on a bad square and behind a bad pawn. Okay, so white was afraid of c5. Doesn't want to see c5, so just move the bishop somewhere. Okay. White's still winning, but it's just, you know, minor inaccuracy. Okay. So you wanted to, I think this is what you meant by stacking rooks on the g file. In this particular position, it's not good because knight g3 just nullifies the activity of both of your rooks. It's a good square for the knight, and then wire your rooks on the g file. Yeah, so here rook g6 check is good, king h7, and then you can play rook g4 and collect the h-pawn. So you were probably thinking, I'm attacking the g-pawn, but there's a knight here. And you were probably thinking, the rook can't defend the pawn because I have this bishop, and that's why you played rook a to g1. But knight g3 just kills your rooks. And that's what happened. And then you always sack the exchange. Now the position's close to equal. And then that hangs a pawn. I'm guessing black doesn't know the en passant rule, even though black's 1400.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was too tired. I was thinking it.
Yeah, in a position where nothing's happening, you can just play rook f6 and white can't infiltrate. White has no passed pawns. I don't see a good way that white can create a passed pawn. Okay, now white has a passed pawn and is up a pawn.
When I see games like we're seeing today, I can finally understand how Trump was elected president.
Mm-hmm. Rook f2 hastens black's defeat. It's just going to get a tempo on the rook. The rook was needed to defend queening. And now it can't do that because the bishop defends the queening square and the rook escorts the pawn. So king g1. Yeah. Yeah, that's just poor understanding of chess as well. G7, check, king f2, and then queen, and then mate. Okay.
Boo. I normally don't boo the games that are submitted, but I had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That was still the best game of the day.
Okay. Okay, eyes open chess.
Oh,
I've got no decent recent games to show. So here's a game from the end of November that should entertain. I got lucky because my opponent played the wrong check toward the end of the game. Okay, it says rated Blitz game. Both players are about 2,300. Time control is 5-0. All right. It's a Karo Khan. I assume 2,300 is no queen e2, knight d6.
no.
But I would still play queen e2. Okay, knight gf6. I've had this position with white before. It's not really anything. It's just boring. Queen b3 is risky because you're giving up your pawn structure in exchange for the two bishops. But black decided not to do that.
Oh.
And now white can save his structure with knight e5. And does. Wait, did I read that? Am I reading that right? Oh, okay. That's a weird trade. Okay. Yeah, position's pretty equal and boring. B5 is very anti-positional, giving up the A5 square and attacking C6. Knight D2 is okay as well, but knight A5 I think is more problematic for black. Queen C7, Queen A3. Alright. A4 is a good move. If your opponent has a pawn on B5, you should play A4. Because it opens the rook up on the A file. And it also attacks the pawn. Well, that's a lot of attack. Okay, A6. Engine says this move's inaccurate. The pressure is better, so it says go for Queen C2, H6, and then Knight E4.
White always played A4 when they played B5.
That's good.
Black never played F6.
Darn. So black's almost equalizing with E5. I'm afraid to play that with this arrangement here. Rook lined up with the queen, but I understand it. Get rid of the pawn. Bishop F7 is lined up with the queen here, so yeah, E5 is a good move. Okay, now white's for choice because white just has a better pawn structure. This is a target. These pawns are bad. Rook's on the A file. It's not much, but it's something. Okay, knight C5 jumps to a good square. But rook a6 was targeting the weak pawn. After knight c5, we can get rid of this weak pawn with e5 again. And that's what happened. Here, rook a6, eg4. Trade everything. Yeah, position's completely equal. Okay, check. Rook e8's very strange. does he just want this? It's not doing anything. Gotta take the knight and I can play queen f3. Okay. Yeah, so that maybe, I don't know. Alright, so now white's winning. Queen e4. Never play f3. No.
Boy, the engine hates f3.
Yeah, it's really bad. So I guess black has a narrow path to draw. Queen e2, queen f1, g5, h5.
Put it H.
Yeah, and that's the wrong check. This reminds me of Game 6 from the 2021 World Championship, where Nepo put his queen on the wrong diagonal and it was losing.
I'm confused. Just let me have the mouse.
Yeah.
Okay, so this says queen b1, queen c2, knight e3,
Yep.
king takes f6,
Okay.
knight takes queen,
Yep.
and it says equal.
Yeah. It does. That's strange.
But black's up a queen. What?
It's playing. It says rook c5, and then the rook's attacking g5, and I have perpetual. King's on f6, knight's on e6, rook c5, threatening rook g5, and then
That's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
rook c5.
Rook c5 equal.
Yeah, the king's stuck in a box here. That is crazy though. It says rook f8, knight f8. Can't take the knight because we have checkmate. So knight takes d4, knight g6. That it looks like it's threatening mate in 2. The queen's misplaced on b1. It can't defend those rook checks. So knight c6 stops mate for a move. It also clears this diagonal towards the king.
Still theory.
Rook takes c6, queen takes b2, knight e5. And it says this position is equal.
That's what should have happened. That could have been game of the day.
Yeah.
Instead, it's just another blunderfest. Queen h3 double question mark. Instead. Yeah, instead of rook c5, white would have resigned.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
And then eyes open would have shut his eyes. Yay, Chrysos gave some centidues.
You're welcome, Chrysos.
Some between 20 and 80.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 56 bits. Okay, so queen h3 checks the wrong direction because letting the king run to g6. But there is a knight here I could take. Okay, knight e7.
Always repeat.
Queen c2. Nice. And then this is just wrap it up. Nice.
Ugh. Another debacle. Another waste of 10 good minutes of my life. I mean, good job. Nice win.
All right, it's Harpy Queen. Sassy girl. No preamble.
Ugh.
Time controls 10-0. The bishop's open.
Chrysos with a lot of bits. The Nimzovich defense, what, knight c6? That's no good. I play that.
E4, knight c6, not great. Yeah, so the only good move here for black is ED. That's not a good move. Bishop f7 is okay. Queen d5 is even better. Okay. Queen e4. So this is a good outcome for white, for sure. It doesn't like bishop g5. It wants to play knight c3 and get the knight to d5 quickly.
Mm-hmm.
King e7, damn. Yeah, I like the engine move here because it sees forkable squares. It says rook b1, and then b4 is supported by the queen and the rook, and on the next turn we can play b5. Okay, knight b3, looking to pick up the bishop. Rook a to g8. Oh, never mind, I was wrong. I wanted to play knight d4 and trade pieces. So white had an initiative earlier, and that initiative is fading away. And now it's back. Never play f3 to blunt the bishop. Okay. HG is also good. c5. And now white can go into a winning ending with queen d6 check. And that's not what happened. This is also fine. Okay, rook f8. Queen f6 is crazy. But I understand it. If rook takes, pawn takes, and then rook pins the queen to the king. So queen f6 is cool. Says queen h4 is crushing though. Threatening discoveries, and then a fork. Okay, queen f6, king e8. F4 is not a good move because this pawn's weak and the bishop's stuck defending it. Yeah, and black can play h4 and already disrupt that. h4 it is. Bishop h2. King e7 is a little slow. It says h3 is a good move here. Coordinates well with the bishop. You try to open your rook up. Yeah, now black's lost again. Trading when you're down material. Says rook d6 is good. Okay. h3 finally. Man, g3 is... Don't you love your pieces? What is that bishop? Oh, man. g3 makes the bishop suck, and it gives black a pass pawn. And black's controlling the queening square. Well, that's very weird. And now black is winning. King f2, bishop g4. Bishop d1 is weird. After bishop d1, white can start pushing this kingside majority over here. Okay. Yeah, now we can definitely get going here because this bishop has left the diagonal. So the right plan is to just start pushing these pawns forward. e3 check. Bishop back to d1. e3. Yeah. And suddenly white's lost. Just picking up the bishop. Yep, and the passed pawn I told you about earlier is now queening. So g4 is going to have to be played to get the rook here, but it's still too slow. Let's play rook g1 and then promote. Okay, g4, h2, and then we push and then promote. And white gave up.
Terrible. Ready, set, terrible.
Can you explain a little more? You were saying how tension is better than trading everything off. I always worry about losing pieces and blundering, so try to simplify. Any advice?
If you're always worried about losing pieces and blundering, you probably shouldn't play chess. Play tic-tac-toe. That's more your speed. And after several years of intense study and lessons, you'll be pretty good at it.
When I said you should keep the tension, you played queen takes f6, which can only be good for black. You just helped them develop. Like, you traded your active piece for black's inactive piece. Then you had no pieces in the game. And then you traded off your strong pawn on f7 to win the exchange, when the bishop was better than the rook and the pawn was better than the rook. But that's what a lot of people do. They default to trading things because they don't see anything else. They see that trading a piece isn't a blunder, so they play it. But it often makes their position worse. So even if trading a piece doesn't hang anything, it still makes your position worse. So don't do that.
Well, that game was terrible.
Yeah, pieces have value when they're held in their hand, and they're also more active depending on the position. I can give you an example, and I shouldn't, but I will. Okay, so here's an example, right? Okay, I've seen this happen a lot. Something like this. Let's see. Okay, so something like this, right? Where they'll go, this is worth 3, this is worth 3, this is worth 5, this is worth 1. Let's do that. And then black has 3 pieces in the game, and white has 0 pieces in the game. So how can that trade be good for white?
White's banned.
They're like, I took 6 and they took 6, so fair trade. But then they don't realize that these pieces are better than these pieces for some reason. And in all positions, a knight and a bishop's better than a rook and a pawn. So don't just trade stuff because it's trading stuff. Trade stuff because the trade is good for you and not for your opponent. Okay, the next game is from Orem. This was a tough grind, and I was dealing with stomach issues during the game. Please analyze it.
Why is your opponent a good player? Did they explain why?
Yeah. His opponent's almost 2,000 rating points higher rated.
Ridiculous.
And this is a 5-minute game. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard of the opponent.
Okay.
Oh.
It's a Sicilian, knight c3. Knight b3 is preferred because in a lot of positions, the knight on b3 is controlling key squares, mainly the a5 square, and it's a good defender of the king when you castle queenside. Knight on f3 doesn't really have any prospects. Can't really go to a
He's
square.
rated 600. Does he know what castling is?
Maybe. Hope so. That gives away black's good bishop for the knight. So, okay, I'm confused, but maybe this is his coach. Yeah, white's already winning. Confusing the audience. Okay, so knight d5 is premature. It's a good move in principle. You want to occupy a weak square, but you don't want to trade it for the knight on f6. So you should play g4 and g5 and kick the knight out, and then stabilize your knight on d5.
Keep going.
Okay.
I'm going to be laying on the couch.
Okay.
Oh, there's a guitar here.
Darn. Taking with the pawn is good. If you want to keep a little life in the position, you can take with the rook, and that lets you keep playing against the backward pawn here. Okay, ED, king b1. Oh.
Yeah, bishop g4 takes f3 seems terrible.
Yeah, not a good idea. So it doesn't like king b1, even though always play king b1.
Yay.
Yeah, so this pawn's attacked, and this pawn's attacked, and you should save the c pawn instead of the a pawn. Rook d2, knight takes a2, king b1. And if knight b4, we have queen g4, and that hits the knight, and the knight is trapped. Okay, but we can keep going. a5, and that gives up the b5 square, so bishop b5 check. And then black can resign. It's ridiculous. Okay, king b1, knight takes c2, and queen e2 gives up the good bishop on e3, so he took it. Instead of that, Engine wants bishop d2 or bishop a7 and preserve the bishop. Queen a5 is a bad move. Should get the bishop, look to get the bishop out with g6 and get the king out of the center as fast as possible because the queen is lined up with the king here. After queen a5, we can play f4, exploiting the pin and opening the center while the king is stuck in the center. You play queen a7, which removes the queen from the game. And now black has a favorable endgame with queen c5. Threatening mate, threatening the queen, so white has to trade queens. We recapture with the d-pawn, and black is for choice there. Okay, but you play queen a4, threatening the rook and queen c2. So bishop d3, played b3, weakening the king. Don't move pawns in front of your king. Queen b4, and then rook c1 is losing immediately because now you have no defense of your king. You're giving up the back rank for the queen. So he took it, and then queen c5 is not a good move. Should play g6 and get the bishop out, or play queen e1.
Is this a 5-minute game?
Yes. Yeah, endgame's still good for black, though. And the player rated 600 is playing way better than 600.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That gives away a bishop. White's already losing. I kind of skimmed through some moves there, but... Okay. So rook d1's not a good square for the rook because the pawn's blockaded. Should play rook e1 or g4. King e7 improving the king, getting the rook out. g4, never play f6. Rook f1, g6, king b2. King b2 is not a good move because after e4, the bishop can go to e5 with tempo. 5. Elliot Alderson chess with the raid. Thanks, Elliot Alderson. Yay.
Although I think I'm dreaming all of this.
Uh-huh. No, you're good, man. King a3 is not a good move.
Did you say king a3?
Yeah, king a3.
Who played king a3, white or black?
White.
How did white play king? Oh, king b2.
Yeah, king b2 to a3.
Oh, they said d2. I was like, what the hell? The king went from d2 to b8. Oh,
Okay.
king b2.
Yeah. So after b5, the bishop's attacked, and instead of moving the bishop away, you traded it for a pawn. It's not a good decision. Also gives up the a file for black's rook. So now white's just losing.
Like every move white made on the queen side was bad.
Mm-hmm.
King b1, b3, rook c1, king b2, king a3. Every queen side move was bad.
And they played until checkmate. Okay.
That's the one good thing they did.
All right. Next game is from Night Night. He asks, do you like a good swindle? Not my proudest moment, but a win is a win. Okay. So our hero's white. Time control is 15 plus 10. Okay, we have an Italian game. Italian 4 knights. No, never mind. He just played knight c3. I thought black would play knight f6. So knight c3 is a boring move that doesn't give white an advantage. After d6, white can play knight a4 and collect the bishop pair, which is a long-term advantage. Play d3 instead. This is all just routine developing, like play in the middle, get the knights out, get the bishop out, get both bishops out. But you don't understand why you're doing those things. Once your pieces are out, you're not going to know what to do. Okay, bishop e3, takes. Now black can collect the bishop pair, or sorry, the bishop on c4 with knight a5. Castles, bishop g4, queen d2. Game's pretty boring. Yeah, so white doubled rooks on the f-file, but doesn't really have a plan of attack down the f-file, so black can already start expanding with b5. Try to open up the queen side now that the rooks are dedicated to the king side. d5 seems to lose a pawn tactically, so we take this, and that's incorrect. The correct move was de, and after pawn takes bishop, we can trade queens, take the knight on f6, h3, and white is for choice here. Weak pawns here. Good square for the knight on d4. Okay, bishop e2, e4, should play knight e4, attacking the queen, and after it takes, knight e1, bishop e2, rook e2, black's slightly better here. Knight e5, takes. Knight takes knight is a bad move because you're opening the d file toward the d pawn, kicking the knight to a bad square.
Never trade.
Yeah, never trade.
Show that to Chris.
Okay, knight g4. Knight takes d5. Knight takes e5. Knight f4 is a bad move. Queen d4 attacks the knight and the e-pawn. It says queen d4, rook e8. Queen takes e4. And then there's no good discovery for the knight. So rook's attacked, b-pawn's attacked. Rook d4, knight takes e3, hitting the rook. c1, f5, d7. Rook ac8's okay. Want to start pushing your pawn majority. This pawn on e4 is passed, so you want to escort it down the board as quickly as you can. There we go. g5. Darn, he played f4 at a moment when he couldn't play f4 because it hangs the e-pawn. So we should just chill.
About an hour ago, Hitbear hung his e-pawn like I moved 4. And then he played queen d2 so the knight could take it with tempo.
And he had mate in 1 and didn't play it.
And black didn't take it.
Yeah.
That wasn't even a Hitbear sacrifice. You just didn't see knight takes e4. Truth hurts.
It does. Ugh. Okay, so black hung the e-pawn. And then white hung a knight. Rook d5 attacking the knight except for one thing. Yeah, I can play rook takes knight.
Hey, did you see the women's candidates today?
I saw Tan Zhang Yi lost.
Did you see the game where Vaishali was losing or worse?
No.
Her opponent played Rook A1,
Mm-hmm.
losing to Tactics 101. Losing to Rook takes Bishop on F6, followed by Bishop D4 check, winning the Rook.
Yeah, winning the rook on A1. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like after 6 hours of play. Black was just a pawn up for nothing. Played Rook A1 and had to resign.
That's a shame.
Hurts.
Oh man, I breezed past it. Black blundered the endgame away. Okay. I thought black would just hit the wrap it up button, but he blundered queening.
So this is why you should never resign.
Yep. So black needs to work on his knight moves. The knight needs to stick around to defend these pawns. White has 3-2 on the queen side, so we need the knight to defend past pawns. So knight a5 is good. Also recommended is this. And if we take the knight, then we take on a4, king takes a4, and g3, and then king's going to come and collect the g-pawn. King b4, king e4. If king b5, king d3, king b6, king c4, and white's in the Zugzwang. You have to take, give up your c-pawn, and then the king just comes and takes this. Okay, knight d2, and now black has to try to draw. Position's equal now. And then king f4 is losing to queening. You play b takes a6 or c6. So he's got to take this, and then play knight e4, and try to get back and defend these pawns against the pawns. Let's see. If c6, we can take it, and play knight c3 check, and knight b5 check, and the knight's going to blockade here, and then we can still come down and take. And if b6, if b6, we can just take this pawn, king takes, and then the engine's still thinking, but it should be a draw. g3, king e4, king d6, king f3, king c7. It's probably some wild, crazy line where both sides get a queen. Okay. Okay, so king f4 just loses to c6. Now white has a passed pawn. After king e6, black resigned. Ugh.
Perfect game?
A perfect game.
What were their ratings?
They're both 1500. 1501 versus 1502. All right, so the next game is from Vittles. I played in my first ever OTB rated tournament this past weekend at the Boylston Chess Club in Boston, Massachusetts.
Famous chess club. It is.
It is early?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can never tell if you're being sarcastic because I've never heard of it.
Yeah, Boylston Chess Club in Boston.
As I was unrated, I played against a lower rated player and got crushed. I had one winning move and missed it, and the game was over right there. Is it common to play poorly OTB for your first time? I just hit 1900 rapid on chess.com, but lost to a 600 ELO player in person, and my second game was a draw against a 700 rated player. Online ratings are different than USCF ratings, but there's more factors when you're bullshitting on the internet and playing in a serious tournament game. Things like emotions and nerves and how you respond to pressure. If you're just bullshitting on the internet, you probably don't care what happens. Okay. So, I don't see a time. Oh, there it is. Time control. 90 minutes plus 5-second delay. And our hero is white. Oh, there it goes. It's a Berlin defense with Queen E2. I've seen that before. I just don't know much about it. It doesn't seem good for white.
Queen E2 instead of castles?
Yeah. I know castles in D3. I don't know Queen E2. Okay. Queen E2's a move. So D6 has the positional drawback of blocking in the dark squared bishop, but I assume he's afraid of takes and takes. But should not be afraid. B takes C6. Take this, then Queen E7 hits the knight and X-rays the pawn, which is also being attacked by the knight. Okay. D6, D4. Yeah, knight takes e5 is a bit hasty because black can play queen e4, attacking e4 and the knight on e5. So instead we can keep the tension and just castle, get our rook to the d file while the queen is there, and so forth. And queen e7 is not the way to do it. You gotta play queen d4, attack the e-pawn directly, and the knight. Knight c3 is a good move. Yeah, queen takes b2, and this reminds me of the game Morphy versus Morphy's opponent, where white has all of his pieces out and black does not have all of his pieces out. Here I panicked. Okay, well, let's use a tool called ignoring. Does anyone know what ignoring is?
I can tell you as I'm ignoring you.
Okay. So you see a threat, right? You see queen takes rook check. That's what you see. And then you panicked. Okay, but what if you ignore it? What if we play the correct queen c4, ignoring that, and threatening checkmate? And then we can continue the line. Queen takes a1, king e2. And then Rosen would say, "Oh no, my rook." Okay, and then queen takes f7, king d8 only legal move, and then knight c6 is checkmate. So even though black's up 2 rooks and a million pieces, black got checkmated because the pieces are here, not doing anything. Queen c4 is a little hard to see. It's a 90 minutes. That should be the only thing that you think about because it threatens checkmate. Threatening checkmate is something you should spend time on. And there's no other thing. Okay, there's bishop e6, but then we play queen takes c6. Bishop d7, and then we take black's rook with check. King e7, and then we defend the rook on a1 by castling. Queen takes c3, knight d7, knight d7. And this is clearly winning for white. King's on e7. These pieces suck. Why not king e7 right away? Instead of this. And then we castle. Rook's under attack. So rook c8, rook b1. I guess, I don't know what I want to play. This blunders that. So here, and then white's just getting their pieces in the game. And we can just compare the piece activity, right? Compare white's pieces to black's pieces. Yeah, you do want to calculate all these variations because they win the game. So if you see a potentially winning move like queen c4, you should calculate it. And okay, but here he played king d2 and now he's lost. Bishop b4 pins the knight. Yeah. Okay, he played queen c4 now. But here we take... Oh, no, he took the wrong way. Yeah, here we just take it because we have a tactic. The queen can't defend e4 and c3, so after queen c3, knight e4 just picks up the queen. Okay, but he played knight takes e4 straight away. King d3 is ridiculous. He should try to do this and lose that way. Knight takes f2, king d2. Yeah, and now with bishop takes c3, we have the same fork because the knight's on f2 still guarding e4. So king e3.
This game giving me nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to rest. What happened after knight f2, king d2?
I have to go back. They played like a million moves after that.
Oh, okay.
But black's just winning the whole game, so I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so king d2, bishop takes c3 because black still has knight e4 forking the queen and king. So he played king e3. Queen b6 check defends the knight on f2. King f3. Bishop takes knight on e5. Rook h to e1, pinning the bishop to the king. Played bishop g4 check, defended by the knight on f2. King g3.
That king's getting all that exercise.
Yeah. And then after h5, which is a blunder, white's back in the game if he plays rook takes e5 check. But he played h3. Bishop e6 hits the queen on c4. Rook takes e5, pins the bishop to the king. h4 check, king h2, queenside castle, queen e2, rook d5, takes, bishop e3 hits the queen and knight, queen b2 attacks the rook in the corner, rook f1, queen e5, king g1, knight takes h3. If you take the knight, then queen g3 followed by mate. So he played king h1, queen g3, queen a6 check, king d7, queen e2, rook e8, rook f7 check, bishop takes f7, queen d3 check.
Bishops move backwards?
They do. Bishop d5, queen f5 check, bishop e6, queen d3 check, bishop d5, queen f5 check, always repeat. King d6, queen f1, bishop takes g2, queen takes, king takes, and then rook takes bishop. Black's up a rook.
Pieces they're all gone.
Yeah, they're all gone. And then white resigned.
It's funny, it looks like white castled and black didn't when it was the reverse.
Yeah. Yeah, Vittles, you gotta take more time and calculate forcing moves. For you and your opponent. Whereas Ben, he's not feeling well, so he's laying on the couch over there on the other side of the room. Okay, next game's from Bonerichi.
Yay, go Bonerichi.
It's the game Bonerichi versus Bonerichi's opponent. I figured when I played this game in 1993 that the game was lost by giving away free pawns like they were free bicentennial wooden nickels. It's a very specific analogy. Okay.
Well, his opponent is somebody I've heard of, I thought.
Yeah, you said he plays a cello.
Oh yeah, John Thurman.
Bonerichi, did your opponent bring the cello to the chessboard?
Definitely. Yeah, he's tall too. He's like 6'.
Yeah, you said he's 6'9", and he's always been old. He had it in the corner.
Yeah, he puts it near the wall.
Well, I thought you said he had it at the chessboard, like it was in his like
no,
his
he
like.
brings it inside. So he doesn't have it at the chessboard.
Okay, so our hero is white. No time control, so I'm assuming slow chess. And black's losing on move
He
on.
played for the DSO for 40 years.
Nice.
If they can't hear me, I don't think.
Is that the Detroit Symphony Orchestra?
Yes.
Nice.
I
Okay.
don't think the guys on the stream can hear me.
Yeah, white played e4, black played e6, and then black resigned because it's a French defense.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a win-a-war. Both sides are playing the main line, and black played knight e7.
What color is Bonerichi?
He has white. Queen g4 is the best move. Knight f5. That defends g7. So bishop d3 threatens to remove the defender. And then h5, queen f4 stuff. Yep, very good. g6 is inaccurate, weakening too many dark squares when you don't have a dark squared bishop. Okay, Bonerichi played bishop d2. Should play knight f3. And then target some of these weaknesses. Bishop d2 is just too slow. Knight c6 is slow. Knight e2 is the wrong square for the knight. It wants to go to f3 and target the weak squares. Queen e7, kingside castles. It's just a good position for white until white did that. Yeah, I don't know why you want to trade queens here. There's nothing to attack after that. And you can't exploit your two bishops because the center's closed. So trading queens is weird. Okay, and then you took on e7, which is good for black, just improving the king. I was afraid of g5. Okay, let's take a look. So he's threatening g5. or you were afraid of that, and say he's threatening it. So rook a b1 makes sense, and then g5, and then queen f3. And now what? If g4, I assume you just go back. Keep pushing pawns. Okay, h4, and then c4. And you have the two bishops, and your rook can come to e1, and you have pressure on the b pawn. Just a good position for white. Couldn't see that far ahead. That's fair. Okay, so you were afraid of g5, so you played queen g5 to stop it. f4 is inaccurate because now your bishop doesn't have a way back into the game. It's going to be stuck on this diagonal forever because the knight controls h4. Also, just in general, putting your pawns on dark squares makes the bishop bad.
You can't play bishop c1 to a3 later?
No, because there's a pawn on f4.
There's a pawn where?
On f4.
I said bishop c1 to a3.
His bishop's on g5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he traded queens on g5.
Yeah, well, actually, he
played bishop e2.
So he played queen takes e7, king takes e7, and then later he played bishop g5 check.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know he played bishop g5 check. As I.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah, you can't see the screen.
Yeah. Well, then his bishop sucks. Who's good?
Mm-hmm. So black should look to get the light squared bishop out. b6. Played knight fd4. Knight b5, trading more pieces. a6, bishop d3, b5. Yeah, black's up a pawn. Even though white has the two bishops, again, the center's still closed. And even though this bishop's bad, like, I don't see anything for white to attack. Okay, rook a b1, rook b8. Rook fd1, king c7, bishop h4, bishop e7, c3 is explosive and losing. Darn. White played c3, which is not explosive. Okay, bishop d5. Hey, that was played. You didn't see bishop d5? Darn. The truth hurts. Okay. Just want to carry this out. Okay, rook a3, d takes c3. What if I take this? And king d4. Yeah, it's annoying. Active king, strong pawns, and your pieces aren't coordinated. Yeah, now black's just operating with a passed c pawn. And then white resigned. Or no, you lost on top. No, you did resign.
No resigning.
I don't have to show my game if you want to call it a night.
Yeah, show your game.
Okay. Alright, last game's from me. And if you're wondering why this is weird, I put an apostrophe in the notation, and then it turned the apostrophe into nonsense. So ampersand number sign 39 semicolon is just an apostrophe. Okay, so I have a new student, and our first lesson was yesterday. And student's pretty good. He's about 1,200. He's 13 years old. He was a class champion for kid chess many times back in the day. And so we played some games. We did some intense calculation exercises, which he did great at, and I had a chance to teach him things about those things. And then we played a Blitz game afterwards. And he said, "Can I play the King's Indian?" And I said, "Sure." I don't normally play d4, but he's my student, so I want to help him in any way that I can. So he wanted to play a King's Indian with black. And then he played g6 on move 1, and I said, "If I play e4 here, then you can't play the King's Indian." And he said, "Oh." Yeah, so, but I played c4 and just let him go back into it. He played knight f6. Okay, and we get a mainline King's Indian, where he struck in the center with c5. I played d5, gaining space. He played e6, challenging the center. I played knight d2, which is a typical rerouting in the King's Indian. You want to free your f-pawn, and if white has more space on the queen side, so you want the knight contributing to the queen side play, queen side expansion. And then he changed his mind. He played e5, which I thought was weird. But after e5, I guess he wants to play knight e8 or knight h5.
And then f5. And see if he catches it.
Ah. Okay, I played a3 because I want to start expanding in the center. If he stops that with a5, that gives up the b5 square for my knight, which I would be happy to see. He played a6. I played b4 straight away. Bishop d7. Knight b3. Putting pressure on c5. He played b6 to defend. I castled. And he played queen c8, which is interesting. He went for a strange plan. He wanted to play bishop g4 and trade the bishop off. But that's his good bishop. Okay, I didn't let him do it anyway. Okay, bishop d2. On the surface, it just moves the bishop one square, but it's indirectly controlling the a5 square, which is a good square for my knight if I can get it there. Okay, he actually saw that, or he played a move to address that. He played a5. So he's occupying a5 with a pawn, which is now supported by the rook. And he wants to play a4, so I stopped that. I played a4. And now b5 is just a great square. I could take the bishop, and then my knight gets to go to b5 unopposed. But I played f3. He went back to d7. And the point is, once I play knight b5 and he takes it, now I have 3 pieces bearing down on the a5 pawn. So he played a4 to save it for a move. And then I played knight a5, which is supported by my bishop. That's why I played bishop d2 earlier in the game. And I have 2 pieces ready to capture a4. Played rook d8. And here he got upset. He thought he blundered a fork with knight c6. But it's not a fork. He thought I could play knight c6 with tempo and then play knight e7, forking the king and queen. But I wasn't going to play knight c6 and trade it for the knight on b8. So I just took the pawn on a4. Knight h5. b6. Queen a6. b7. Rook a7. Queen b3. Knight d7. Rook f to a1. Knight b6. Knight c6. Knight takes rook. b8 equals queen. Okay, and here I had the worst hypnosis I've ever had in my life. I was, it was really embarrassing oversight, but...
Were you watching Futurama and it was Hypnotoad?
No. Darn. Okay, so he played bishop f8, and then I could just...
Bishop f8.
Yeah. It's the only legal move. Or I guess he could play queen c8 and hang his queen, and then play bishop f8 on the next move. So if I just take the rook anyway, I'm winning up too much material. But in this position, I played bishop h6, threatening queen f8, and I saw the defense. I saw rook a8, but when I calculated rook a8, I said that attacks my queen. I did not say that defends his bishop on f8, so I forgot. So now the position's equal, but it's a weird, like a computer kind of equal. Rook a8, take on f8, rook takes f8, knight e7, king h8, bishop takes rook, and this is equal somehow.
Always play bishop f8.
Yeah. Okay, and I did it 2 moves in a row. He played knight g7 to block the mate. Now I'm winning again if I just take the rook. But I played rook b1 because I was infatuated by cool sacrifices. And all of them were stopped by rook to a8. Although now it's a little different because the knight's on g7. Not that much different, but it's a little different. Okay, so rook a8 and white still has a winning position after knight e7 and then bishop f1, which is crazy variation, but all of black's pieces are going to be tied down. I'll just show that. Oh, somebody gave bits, but I don't see it. Thank you, whomever gave bits. Okay, king h8, and then yeah, after bishop f1, take the queen, rook takes, and now I'm threatening rook takes bishop mate, and there's no defense to that.
And you play bishop f8, then bishop f1.
Okay. So in the game he played knight c3, and this is white to play and win. I'll let the chat figure it out. Come on, chat, you can do it. I believe in you.
I've already bet against them online.
Vegas, double that bet. What? Did you just start saying nonsense after you... Bonerichi, you calculated the correct line and then you just started saying nonsense.
Maybe it was his cat.
Oh, okay. A takes bishop check and then W.
Maybe he wants A and W.
Good root beer. Q takes bishop check. It was autocorrect mistake. King takes bishop, chat GPT. Cats play chess very well. Can you please analyze my game? Well, first step is to subscribe to Ben's channel. The second step is to post your game on Sunday. And then, yes, we will analyze your game.
Yeah, we still won't, but thanks for the sub.
He didn't sub. He just asked if we could analyze our game.
Yeah, you can type exclaim analysis for more info.
This is too hard for most, so they can't do it. Well, I found it in a Blitz game, so like people should be able to find it.
Remember, some of them voted for Trump.
Oh. Queen takes f8 check, king takes f8, rook b8, and then resigns. Yeah, that's correct. I was waiting for someone to say queen c8 and then rook takes queen mate, but no one said it because they didn't care about it. Yeah, queen takes bishop, king takes rook b8 check, queen c8, and then checkmate. So I played 2 blunders in a row, and it led to me sacking my queen for mate. That's good.
That's the game of the day.
Yeah, but Bonerichi, your variation was weird. You said queen takes bishop, king takes, rook b8, queen c8, and then you said queen takes queen, knight e8, which is illegal because there's a bishop on h6. Yeah. Like your variation was... Wait, what is this? That's a very normal notation. Just like 2 weeks ago when you had 2 rooks that could see a square, but only one of them could move there, but you still specified which rook went there. Now you know why it takes me 2 hours to submit my games. Do you have bad handwriting? It's okay if you have bad handwriting. That's a real problem.
I'm alive.
This is the final position. It's not blind skateboards, but I am familiar with blind skateboards and I love them.
Chat couldn't find queen f8, rook b8. Ugh, Chat's bad.
No, Bonerichi found it, but he said queen takes bishop, king takes rook b8, queen c8, queen takes queen, and then knight e8.
Uh-huh.
Which is
Yeah, that's just Bonerichi for rook b8, mate. All right, you're all banned. Sorry, I wasn't feeling well during the stream, so I left.
yeah.
But I still yelled out a lot of stuff, even though I couldn't see the positions or know what the position was. Thanks to Pat for taking over.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to raid somebody.
Okay.
It's like Lafang Hua's, you know.
It's always Lafang.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, raid.
No, that's not the right word.
It's a raid.
Yeah.
Lafang Hua.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, have a good night, Chess TV people and chat. Bye.
I'll see you guys Tuesday if